So, as we all know, one of the greatest battles to properly carrying a firearm is how to carry. The main accessory being the holster. I may have like an average of 3 holsters per gun, except for one gun. And that one is rocking a Harry's. Hey guys, Work here, welcome back to the bench. Today we're going to be doing a review of a Harry's Holsters Executive model. So let's go ahead and hit the bench and I'll give you a close-up. Okay guys, so here we go. The Harry's Holsters Executive 1 clip. This particular one is for my SIG P365. Let's go ahead and get that out of here. It is loaded, so let's set that guy aside. And let's just talk about the holster for a second. So, what the holster executive model gives you is an incredibly wide range of variability for just a single holster. You can see how many mounting options you've actually got in this single holster. Now, I got mine as a single clip model along with a mod wing. I do carry appendix now, so this mod wing is pretty necessary to be able to tuck the grip back so that it's not sticking out the side of you. The clip options that Harry has are these grip hooks. He's got an 1.5 inch and an 1.75 inch model. He's got a soft loop option, and then he's got these. Now these are pretty interesting. These are his behind the belt clips. I can't remember the actual brand name of these things, but they're very nice spring steel clips that have a kind of a reverse hook on here to be able to grip onto the seams of whatever pants you're putting these on. And these will actually fit back behind the belt rather than on top of the belt. You can do it on top of the belt, but the odds of you being able to get that off of there are slim to none. So I would not recommend on top of the belt for these. They do go behind the belt pretty well. Now, the reason that I don't use these, I had a problem with these. The behind the belt ones tended to want to kind of pull down and underneath my belt and get hooked down there, which would drop the holster down and kind of cant it out a little bit, and it was kind of funny. That's just me. That's going to vary per body style. So if you're looking for something to be able to go behind the belt in like an environment where you absolutely cannot print at all, these are an awesome option. I use just a standard grip hook. This thing works great. It does go over the belt. And it clicks on very nicely. These do also have a little bit of that negative retention down here, pulling up on the belt. This is really the only hook that I actually would recommend, really. The foamies are kind of like the standard cheapo hook that most holster companies sell. And foamies just, they're not a reliable source of retention for your holster. As you can see with the grip hook, it's all internal here. The whole hook, the molding of itself is its own retention. With the foamy clips, you've got to rely on those screws, and if those screws start to come out, your foamy starts to get loose, and it's not going to have that retention. So this is the only hook style that I actually recommend for holsters, and Harry sells them, which is fantastic. The other option is a soft loop, and soft loops are, I don't prefer soft loops. I dislike the speed at taking on and taking it off, but I mean, it is an option. They work really well, and that is going to be your most solid way of attaching your holster. It's going to outdo the hooks. It's going to outdo these guys. The loop is going to just do better. Nobody's ever going to pull that holster off of you if you're running a loop. This has kind of the ability to break or twist or tweak. So other features of this holster, as with all of Harry's executive model holsters, they are optics compatible. So let me toss my firearm back in here. You can see that it is cut to accept a red dot sight. The sight channel is set to accept suppressor sight heights, and it is long enough to be able to have a threaded barrel in here. So one thing that you may be noticing right about now is that for this particular one, again, a P365 is a pretty short gun. That's how the P365 sits in this holster. Notice the extra length. Now, you may be thinking that that's not exactly optimal, but I want to remind you that when you're conceal carrying a gun, the barrel length isn't the part that is difficult to hide, it's the grip length. So you can deal with a little bit of extra barrel length. Now, why does he do that? Why does he add that little bit of extra barrel length in there? 2 reasons. One, obviously, as we already said, it gives you the option to be able to run a threaded barrel without having an open muzzle down here. Reason number 2, however, is that subcompact guns, when carried especially in an appendix style, tend to sit funny. The fact that they sit so high and there's so little down here past the hook makes them want to pull up and out of your belt. As you're carrying them, your body's going to be trying to torque it out of your belt. adding this additional little 1/2 inch to an inch or so of holster down here makes it so that your contact point is much lower and you're actually not trying to force this out of your belt, making it significantly more stable and more comfortable. I've noticed while carrying Pendix that an actual longer muzzle is generally more comfortable to carry for a longer period of time than a shorter muzzle is, and that really holds true even between my P365 and my EDC P10C. So Harry goes ahead and adds that little extra bit of length in there to be able to give you that comfort as well as the stability that that gives you. That matched along with all of the different mounting options for different placements. You can have multiple different belt mountings. You can have it canted, you can have it straight mount. You can run this appendix, you can run this at 3 o'clock. This holster is probably one of the most versatile holsters that I have seen on the market. Now, as far as retention goes, this is not fixed retention, so you can modify the retention via these screws, but the stock retention that it came with is pretty good, actually. There are some holsters that I've had really big issues with retention. I will say that it's none of the holsters that I have straight up reviewed. Let's just say if I've named the company, I've never had an issue with retention with their holsters. And Harry's here holds true to that. Now, I'm not super light on my gear. I do beat it up. It's got scuffs here. It's got a couple of scuffs here. It's got some rubbing back here. But this thing has held up excellently. I've carried this thing quite a bit, and it's done fantastic. As you see here, it has placed no extra wear on my firearm itself, which apparently P365s are pretty well known for getting a little bit of extra holster wear, and mine has no issues. It does have some lint, but let's not focus on that. And the fit on this thing is great. I really appreciate that Harry's put in the time so that it doesn't rub my firearm in all sorts of funny ways and ruin the finish on it. Because once you ruin the finish on one of these things, you start running into issues with corrosion and stuff like that. So it's always good that a holster maker is going to design his holster around your firearm to not damage it. And as always, that's one of the things that Harry's taken into account. So that's it for this time, guys. A quick review of the Harry's Holsters Executive model. If you want to check out the Executive or any other one of Harry's lines, go ahead and check him out. His website is harrysholsters.com. I'll throw a link in the description down below for you. I do have another holster of his that I'm going to be reviewing here shortly. However, it is a different style than this, so I wanted to give you guys just the review of the Executive inside the waistband model because I think that's what a lot of you are going to be going over there for. If you have any questions about the holsters, about Harry's, about my experiences with him, let me know down in the comments if you've got any questions. Remember, guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.